What's up everyone, welcome to Offshore Audio. I'm Andrew and this is the channel where I'm helping you with tips and tricks to make better live events. I saw a post on a forum recently. I was just hanging out, reading some stuff online, and someone was asking about what work could they find in the quiet seasons. They were quite new to the game and they'd had a busy year, but now in winter, everything was getting real quiet, which is something that happens. And that got me to thinking about how I arrange my finances so that when the business has a quiet spell, I just chill out and everything's cool. When I was off sick in the summer, that was fine. I essentially got sick pay from my business. In this video, we're going to take a look at the mindset that you need to have as a freelance sound engineer, the actions that you need to take to set up your finances in a way that you don't need to worry about it, and when you have a dry spell, you just chill out. And finally, the numbers that you essentially need to crunch to make sure that this all works fine and you don't need to worry about things like taxes and wages. So without further ado, let's dive in. Most of the sound engineers that I work with, apart from a small percentage, have been freelancers. They have been self-employed individuals, most often set up as sole traders. That is, single person business entities. And that's really great for accounting because your money is the business money. You don't need to worry about differences in accounting in numbers. Fantastic. But that doesn't mean that you can just spend all the money that comes into the business. You need to think of your sound engineering freelance career as a business and you need to run it as such. And you need to think of yourself as an employee, and you also need to be the manager and run the business like a business. What does that mean? That means paying yourself a wage every month. You, the employee, need to get that wage from your employer. Because if you were in a job and your employer didn't pay you because it was a quiet month, you'd kick off. You'd say, hey, where's my money? That's not how this works. So as the business owner, you need to have money in the bank to pay the employee. You also need to have money in the bank to pay whatever bills or business expenses you have. That also means having good enough cash flow that you can dish out some holiday pay or some sick pay when your employee, that's you, has to take some time off sick or wants to take a holiday. And the best bit about this is you can also dish out the bonuses. When it gets to the end of the year and the bank balance is looking good, you can say, do you know what? I think it's bonus time for everyone involved. What's that? Everyone's me? Fantastic. I started thinking like this and arranging my sort of finances like this about 2 to 3 years ago. And life is so much more chill now that I do this. In summer, I had a slipped disc in my back. I couldn't work for a month. It was fine. I wasn't happy about not working, but at least I didn't have to worry about not having any money for my rent. When I'm running the business, of course, I need to earn enough to pay all of my expenses every month. But I accept that there are high and low seasons. And one month I might make 4 times as much as I make another month. But that's okay. It also makes it so much easier to budget for training and development of your staff, as in yourself. Buy yourself a course, buy yourself some microphones. It's fine because the business pays for it. It feels like a present. You need to think like a business owner, but also pay yourself like an employee. So let's create a system to make this easy to administer, right? I'm going to call it the 3 offshore accounts system, which is funny because offshore accounts, offshore, yeah, funny. The first thing we need to do is we need to separate our business finances from our personal finances. Although I said in the beginning, they are legally the same thing, they're not going to be for us. So we need 3 bank accounts. They can just be normal bank accounts. Doesn't need to be a special business bank account that your bank will absolutely try and sell you. They'll say, oh, this only costs €100 or $100 a year and you get the normal bank account works just fine. I think in America they call it a checking account. In the UK it's a current account. I don't know about the rest of the world. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what it's called in your country. So we start with our first account. You've probably already got this. If you don't, I'll be surprised. This is your personal account. You use this first account for getting your wages paid into. You then pay your rent, your food, your utilities bills at home. You take yourself out for dinner. You take your friends. You take your partner out for dinner. It's great. That's what you use this account for. The second account is your business account. And this is where all your business invoices get paid into. Every time you send an invoice out, this account will be listed on it as, please pay me my money to my business account. The main purpose of this account is to pay your business expenses. And the first expense that you have as a business is your employee. That's you. So you need to set up an automatic transfer every single month, transfer your agreed wages, we'll get to that later, to your personal account. That's the first account that we made. We also need to use this account to pay business expenses, whether that is training courses, tools, studio rental if you've got a studio or something like that, or an office. And the last thing we're going to transfer out of this account is your tax money. Let's look at that. The third account that you will set up will be your tax account. This account has one purpose, that is to hold the money that is due to the tax man. Now, I'm sure tax is different everywhere. In Europe anyway, it's pretty normal if you're an employee that you get paid and your employer takes the tax off before they pay you it. You don't really need to worry about it too much as an employee. Where I am now, you need to declare your expected earnings for the year, and they then calculate your tax bill based on that and divide it up into 4. And it's your responsibility as a business owner to pay it every 3 months. Back in the UK, it was a little more cowboy. You basically just told them at the end of the year how much you earned, and they were like, great, here's a huge bill. I'm sure it's different in other countries. That's something you're going to have to work out. But essentially what you're going to do here is when you get paid business income into your business account, you're going to work out the percentage of tax that you need to pay, and you're going to just take that off the top straight away, and that's going to go into your tax account. It'll be like you never even had the money. It won't even go into your personal account that you use to spend things, and you won't care about it. It'll be a lot easier than at the end of the year clawing the money out of your personal account that you thought you were going to use to buy a yacht. And take my advice, round this number up, because you really don't want to get to the end of the year and find out that you have to pay more tax than you thought. Be mean to yourself, complain about the tax man, then at the end of the year, get a rebate. Now that we've got our 3 accounts set up, we need to run the numbers. We need to know how much money we're going to transfer in and out of these 3 accounts. Unfortunately, the dull solution to this is that we need to create a budget. You need to create a list of all the money that you spend as a human every month. That means rent, that means utilities, phone bill, that means a gym membership, that means Netflix, whatever you do for fun, going out, eating in restaurants, everything. You need to build this picture of how much money you need to live your desired life right now. And that's going to be your minimum amount that you commit to paying yourself. You want to round this up a little bit because you don't want to screw yourself out of money. That's not the point of being a freelancer. But you might want to consider setting your wages quite conservatively in the beginning if you don't have a large buffer in your business account. Because remember, your business account needs to have enough money in it to pay you sick pay, holiday pay, and pay the other business expenses. Round up, get a good idea of what you need, but think conservatively in the beginning. And you know what? If you're doing a great job, give yourself a raise. The next thing you need to do is you need to work out your tax percentage. Now, I had a quick look to see where all of y'all are from, and for the top 5 were all English-speaking countries, and I had a little look and I could find a tax calculator for all of them. I even checked Nigeria, shout out to Nigerians, and so most of the English-speaking countries I checked have a tax calculator. I don't know about the non-English-speaking countries, but please let me know down below what's tax like in your country. And so you can just project your income and that'll tell you how much tax you expect to pay as a percentage. And if it doesn't give you as a percentage, you can work out the percentage. If you're just getting started, just take your first month's earnings and multiply it by 12, and that'll give you a rough idea of how much you're going to earn in the year. You're just trying to find this percentage that you want to deduct every month. And like I said, be a bit mean to yourself so that you can stick it to the tax man later when you get a rebate. The final tool that we're going to need here is we're going to need proper bookkeeping software, proper accounting software. Sometimes this costs money, sometimes there are free versions. It's invaluable. When I was a freelancer in the UK, again, quite cowboy, they didn't care. It's like, oh, you have a spreadsheet, cool, that's fine. Terrible idea. You have no idea who's paid, who's not paid, how much money you've earned, how much of it should be taxes. Takes ages when you've got to do your taxes at the end of the year. Not worth it. Here in Norway, a little more strict. Got to use a proper accounting program. Love it. So much easier. A free alternative that I've used before is called Invoice Ninja. I'll leave a link to that down below in the description. Essentially, what we're going to do with this software is we're going to use it to create and send all of our invoices so that we have a record of all of the work that we've done and we've sent invoices for. And when we get paid, we're going to use this software to mark the invoices as paid. That way, we know who's paid, who's not, what the cash flow should look like. And over time, you can build up a really good profile of what your earnings look like. After a couple of years, you'll be able to say quite concretely, oh, January's always really quiet. Then you can go on holiday in January, which you get paid for because you're running your finances well. So in summary, think like a business owner. You are a business owner. You have a duty to pay yourself every single month so that you can afford your rent. And you have a duty to pay your bills and keep the business running. You need to keep your taxes separate from your personal income so that you don't spend them. You need to get 3 bank accounts, your personal bank account, which you probably already have, your business bank account, Money goes in, expenses go out, wages go out, taxes go out. Your tax account. Transfer all your taxes to that account before you pay yourself. Use a budget to work out what your wages should start at. Use a tax calculator and project your earning to work out what percentage you should take off of your earnings as tax. And finally, use software. Use proper accounting and bookkeeping software to keep on top of your invoices and payments so that you know what condition your business is in. I hope that was helpful. It's a little bit different. If it was valuable, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. As always, I'll leave some links down below to free resources that you can use to kickstart your live sound career and mix better live events. But for now, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.